First things first, I've got 2 cups of plain all-purpose flour in the bowl of the food processor, and to that I'm adding in 180 grams of butter. This is just chilled butter, and we're just going to process this until it looks like fine breadcrumbs. Next we're adding in 1 egg yolk, and 3 tablespoons of chilled water. Now, you may need to add a little bit of extra water if the dough doesn't quite come together, but usually it's about 3 tablespoons. Then simply process again until the mixture comes together as a nice big ball of dough. Perfect. We're just going to lightly knead the dough for a couple of minutes on a floured surface, just until the dough is nice and smooth. Form the dough into a rough disc shape, then simply cover it with a bit of plastic kitchen wrap, pop it into the fridge for half an hour to chill. Once chilled, cut the dough in half, then simply roll the dough out using a rolling pin on a lightly floured surface. Drape the pastry over a pie plate and trim off any excess. Once you've got the pastry in your pie plate, simply put these into the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes to chill, and then we'll be ready to blind bake them. And we're ready to blind bake our pastry bases. Now I've just put some baking paper into each pie plate on top of the pastry, and I've weighed down the paper with some pie weights. These will help to stop the pastry from rising while we're blind baking them. Now, if you don't have pie weights, just some uncooked rice will be fine, just to keep the paper down. And we are ready to put these into the oven. Preheated oven, 200 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes, then remove the paper and the pie weights and put them back into the oven for another 10 minutes or until they're nice and golden. To make our filling, I've got 1 kilogram of sweet potato, which I have just peeled and diced up and steamed for about 10 to 15 minutes or until it's nice and tender. To that I'm adding in a little bit of butter. And just using a good old-fashioned potato masher, we're just going to mash all this up until there's no big lumps. Then just set that aside to cool for about 10 to 15 minutes. Transfer the cooled sweet potato into a blender or a food processor, and to that we're going to add 1/3 cup of freshly squeezed orange juice, 1 cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 3 eggs. Then simply blitz it until it's nice and smooth. Beautiful. Divide the sweet potato mixture between the 2 pie plates. Reduce the temperature of the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, and then we can just pop our pies back into the oven for another 10 minutes or until the filling is set. And here we have a slice of our completed sweet potato pie. I've just drizzled a little bit of melted dark chocolate over the top, but I am ready to dive into